Here, we need this program. Read what I have is the simplest form of entropy coding used in lossless compression of data. This is the simplest, and we are going to see that it's the simplest to code, to compress it and to decompress, allowing 4 to 25 megabytes compression into 3 bytes. Na byte inakuwa na 3 bits. So 8 bits zinaform 1 byte. So when we have 3 bytes, those are 24 bits. And you can write in this encoding frequently at least 4 times. Repeating bytes are repressed depending on the year occurrence into the bytes. And we are going to see that. We are going to see that where first byte show the repeating bytes. Second is the exclamation, and the third byte shows the number of occurrence. Right, that I'm going to explain that what we are to now. The first is the number of the just a minute. Andika kwanza alafu tuende the next step. And I'm going to stop sharing so that I can admit there's a student who have come. So let me scroll down so that you can be able to see. So we have this syntax is what I want to explain as you write. So I hope you have written random coding. So this is what we have. We are writing in this encoding frequently at least 4 times. Repeating bytes are replaced depending on the year occurrence into 3 bytes, where first byte ex ya kwanza, first byte shows the repeating byte, and we are going to see that. Then we have the exclamation flag, mark of the flag. We are going to see how we are going to use that. And now we have that small x, the number of repetition, because there are those characters that are going to repeat themselves. Those that the data that you want to compress. Kunaweza kuwa na characters that are repeating themselves. So we are going to see if we have such, how we are going to compress such data. Example, we have A, B, how many C's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least, hizi zimepita 4, because we have said that at least 4 times. Sasa C imejirepeat mara 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have D 4 times, and we have F. So this one is uncompressed. Let us compress that. So this is the using run, length, encoding. So we are going to have A, B, Aha, hizo hazijarepeat. Then C imejirepeat how many? 5 times. So because it's more than 4 times or at least 4 times, so we are going to have C, then hiyo flag or the exclamation mark, what we are calling the flag. Hiyo sasa inaonyeshana C imeripitiwa more than 4 times or 4 times, at least 4 times. That's why we have, na ukipata in some materials hawaweki this flag. In some books, if you find, you look this information maybe from even from the internet, in some materials you will find that they are not putting the exclamation mark. But whether you put it or not is still a language encoding or data compression. So then, but as for me, I picked this, and we are going to stick at this. So in case I test you on this, you remember to put the flag. So unaona C tumeona imeripitiwa 5 times, so tutaweka C, then the flag, alafu the number of repetition, ile x kidogo, number of repetition. Sasa number is 5. Then D ni mara 4. So we are going to have B, the exclamation mark, then we have the number of repetition 4 times. Alafu unaandika 4. F is only one time. Unaiandika. Tunaangalia those that has been repeated. That's how we use the random encoding. I don't know whether you have written that. I have procedure of random encoding, and we have seen that a byte should occur at least 4 consecutive times. Compressed data contains the following format. We have the repeating byte, like C image repeat, the flag, and the number of repetition. This is another example. This is another example, and we can do it together. We have how many? We have A, then we have B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. C mara mbili, then D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are not going to use this one where we have the 0, 1, and the other one we are going to use this one. So we have how many? We have A. Then how many times B has been repeated? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are going to have A, then B flag 11 times. And then C we are going to have C. Wachana na hii imeandikwa hivi. Wacha tutumie ile ingine tumetumia. So we are going to have our A, then we have B flag 11 times, then C, then we are going to have how many B's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have 8 flag, no, not 8, D flag 8, like that. Still, we have another example here where we have how many B's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have A, B flag 5 times, then C how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have C flag 6. Then we have D1. How many E's? We have 4. Then we have E flag 4. Then we have F. We are going to stick at that. But even the rest, they are okay, but don't write them. Just write this one where we have the flag. That is under random coding. Don't write just write those ones that have the flag. Though both of them are okay, but as we are going to stick to that, the one that has the flag. The other, I don't know whether you have written that. Have you written that? Just a minute, I admit. The other one is the other one. Let me display the other one. So the other one is arithmetic coding, and let me read for you. Arithmetic coding is a form of entropy coding used in lossless data compression. Just write this. Arithmetic coding or encoding is a form of entropy coding used in lossless data compression. A string of characters is represented. A string of characters is represented using fixed number of bits per character. A string of characters is represented using a fixed number of bits per character. As you finish writing that, let me admit. So, uh, random coding is a form of entropy coding used in lossless data compression. A string of characters is represented using a fixed number of bits per character. Full stop. When a string is converted to arithmetic encoding, when a string is converted to arithmetic encoding, comma, frequently used characters, frequently used characters, frequently used characters will be stored, will be stored, will be stored with fewer bits and characters, with fewer bits and characters not occurring, and characters not occurring frequently, not occurring frequently will be stored with more bits. When a string is converted to arithmetic encoding, comma, frequently used characters will be stored with fewer bits and characters not occurring frequently will be stored with more bits. Arithmetic encoding encodes the entire message into single numbers. Arithmetic encoding encodes the entire message into single number. A fraction where n where 0.0 is less or equal to n or less than 1 or from 0 to 1. Just like that. That one I don't have an example of that one. The other one is uh, Huffman technique. Huffman technique. Let us see. Someone has come. And I displayed the other one, Huffman coding. This one is so the other one is Huffman coding. Huffman coding. Let me display. So the other one is Huffman coding. Still other entropy coding. Huffman coding is a lossless coding. Huffman coding is a lossless coding. Huffman coding is a lossless coding. As you like that, let me admit, I don't get bored or feel like, because the students are still coming, and because they have come, let me just allow them in. Lakini wakikakaa sana, I'm not going to allow them. So Huffman coding is a lossless coding where during the decoding of data, completely regenerates the original data. Where during encoding of data, completely regenerates the original data. Where during the decoding of data, when you are decompressing the data, completely regenerates the original data. So there you are not going to lose any data. Don't write the purpose. The purpose of Huffman coding: data compression, data encoding, lossless compression. So I just want to have the example. We have the example. I show you how we encode this. So this is an example. We have this character. We have character A, B, C, D, E, and F. Then the frequency, the number of times that these letters appear. So like letter A is going to appear, or is appearing 5 times. B 9, C 12, D 13, E 16, F 45. So we have the number of characters, there are 6. That is, code must be of length 3. We are going to see why. So let me show. So don't write that. Let us come now to do the problem, or solve the problem. So these are our letters, and how the occurrence of these letters. Letter A tumeona ni 5 times, B 9, C 12, D 13, E 16, and 45, F 45. Alafu hiyo ni step 1. We put them like that. Then select 2 leaves containing the list values. Sasa unaangalia yenye iko na list values, na tuko na 5 imeokaa, A imeokaa 5 times na B 9 times. Kwa hivyo hizi mbili ndizo ziko na less values containing the list values. So we bring to zilete, we bring them on the left side, the oldest character to that gives minimum output. Selecting A and 5, B 9 places more at the right side. So unaizileta, to me is on my left side. Kwa hivyo unaileta on your left side. So we have 12. Sorry, these two, sorry, we add 5 and 9. Alafu tukiadd 5 and 9 inakuja 14. We are going to form a tree. So tumeangalia the list zenye zimekuwa the list values. So tuko na 5 na 9 tuziadd, alafu to form this tree. We have hapo juu tuko na 14, alafu tuko na 5, our 5 na our 9 ama A and B. Alafu sasa ndio tumezitoa hizo mbili, tena hapa tukuje tuangalie zenye they have the least values. The least values ni 12 na 13. Tuzilete on this side. Binyi nasema to me on the left side. Alafu hizo zingine tunazipeleka on the other side. So we have our 14, unaona kwenye iko our A and B. Alafu tuko na 14. Alafu sasa tukuje tena, wacha to move on. Let us move on. Then select to leave minimum output. Tunaona C na D ndio iko na minimum juu hata 14 iko juu ya 13, still iko juu ya 13 na 12, na F ni 45 still iko juu ya 13 and 12 and 13. So the 13, C and D, they have the minimum output. Alafu we still we add them. We add them the way we have added A and B. So we are going to add C and D, which is tutakuwa na 13, 12 plus 13 is 25. Alafu 25 ni kubwa kuliko 14, kwa hivyo tutaipeleka on our right side. So tutakuwa na 14 alafu 25. Then zimebaki E and F. E and F. Tutaangalia. Unaona 14 is less than 16. Lakini 25 is greater than 16. Kwa hivyo 16 tutaileta between 14 and 25. I wish can ningeweza, if you are in class, we can do this using the whiteboard, ama kan ningekuwa na ile ya kuandika. I don't know, maybe I'll try and see when we are online how I can be writing. There is an option, or there is a way we can do that. So but for now let us just use whatever we have for now. So 14 hii itakuwa between 14 and 25 because tumeona 16 is less than 25. Alafu so tumeweka 16 hapo katikati. So we move on. Hope you are writing, though I'm going to repeat. Alafu kuna noise. I don't know, there's some noise at the background. Whoever is having that noise, please put it off. Inafanya masikio mtu asikie vibaya. I don't know. Just a minute. So we have step 4. So tumeona 16. E is 16. Let me go back up there. Just a minute. So we are going to have to add 14 and 16. We are going to add 14 and 16. So this itakuja like this. So we are going to have, unaona na 14 and 16 is 30. Kwa hivyo itakuwa 30 itakuwa katikati ya 25 na 45. Juu ni kubwa kuliko 25. So we are going to have like this. Umeona tuli-add 5 and 9 tukapata 14. Then tume-add 14 na 16 tukapata 30. Alafu 30 iko katikati ya 25 na 45. Alafu sasa hapa tena tuta-add 25 na 30. 25 and 30. we have 55. Lakini naona sasa 55 itakuwa kubwa kuliko 45. Kwa hivyo sasa 45 tutaileta on the left side. So we have now, we have like this, the tree. Unaona tuna form tree. Though I'm going to, nitarudia ili muone vizuri. Sasa unaona tuko na 55. Alafu unaona tumeleta F. F tuko nayo on the left side. Aha. Sasa tumebaki na F na ama 45 na 55. So what we are going to do, we are going to add. We are going to add 45 and 55, which is 0, 100. So we still form that, we form that tree. So tutajoin 55 na 45, alafu sasa tuform sako hapo juu. Aha, like this. Like this. We have our tree like this. So another thing, unaona, we have our tree like that one, the way it is, you can see it. Alafu tuko na ile assign 0 to left and 1 to the right. Sasa unaona hii tree tuko na hii node, is it not this line that is joining this node and the other node 45 and 100, and this one that is joining this node 55 na 100. So hiyo tunaileta kwa hii branch. Let me use it. I can't remember the term that they use. Let me just use the word branch. So 0 itakuwa kwa hii branch, alafu 1 kwa the other side, the right side. So the left weke 0 and the right side weke branch ya right weke 1. Like now, like the other one, the other tree, we have 0 from the left. We have this branch from the left, we have 0. Unaona where we have C and D. Alafu on the right branch, let me use that one, but they have a term. So we have this branch, the right branch, we put 1. Then hapa hii node ya 25 tuko na the one that is connecting to 55. We have that branch there, left and the right. We have 0 on the left and 1 on the right. Then we come to this tree in a join that this node ya 30. So we have that branch that connecting to 14, we put 0. This one that from G to 14, we put 1. From 14 to that, we put 0. From 16 to that, we put 1. Aha. So when we have, tumefanya hivyo, sasa wacha tu, unajua tuna compress. Sasa tutachukua hizi binaries. These binaries, sasa tutaanza from, yes? Hello?
You're going too fast and we are not able to follow through the notes. People can share them. Okay, you're too fast.
Wacha nimalize. Let me finish, alafu nirudie, si ndio? Niende huko juu. Ni sawa? Is it okay?
It is easier when we are following from our
Can you be able to share the notes?
Nirudie.
We are too fast. We are too fast.
Kindly send us the notes.
Kindly send the notes.
How? See, display. You can't see them.
Surely. So tutumie two notes we follow through from our end.
Yes, too fast. You can.
Wacha tu niweke tu hivyo.
Seriously?
Mnaona sasa?
Seeing is not the issue. We are seeing, but you are going too fast. We are not able to follow through, and we don't have the notes. So it's like we are just hanging in the class for the statistics. There is really nothing we are doing.
If you could share your notes, it will be very easy for us to follow what you're doing.
do this, we can at least discuss what there's no things to solve or maybe to write, to draw, or yes, to draw. So what I
Here's a $300 mystery box and call right there. It's a $400 one. See ya. Let's go open them, gentlemen. Oh, get to open it. Oh, my bad. All right, we're not speed running opening these boxes. All right, he's ripping it. Bob Ross Monopoly. This box is better. Wait, guys. Wait. The $300 mystery box was a Bob Ross set. Well,
so let us we can look at another topic. That one will be it when we are in class. We move on to source coding. You can leave maybe some space for that work that we are not able to fall through. So let us have this source coding. It's another type of technique of data compression. We have the entropy, we have the source coding, and we have the Huffman coding, and not Huffman, hybrid coding. So this one you can even, this one we are going to write because there is nothing that I'm supposed to draw or to. You can see what I have displayed. These are source coding. The four major techniques are the source coding are. You can write the four major techniques are the source coding are. We have the predictive. The first one is predictive. This technique uses one sample to guess the next. This technique uses one sample to get the next. It assumes a model and sets only the differences from the model. It assumes a model and sets only the differences from the model. This what it means at the predictive is, remember we are dealing with audio, video, graphics, or the images. We are compressing this element of a multimedia application. So if it's like a video that we want to compress, so that maybe we set them and we decompress when they get to the other side. If we're using this predictive, we are saying that this technique uses one sample. So we have one frame. It can be intra-frame or the predictive frame. Sasa ni lazima tujue, we say that uses one frame to guess. Sasa tunaweza kuwa na interframe ama predictive frame, alafu tutajua ingine ni frame gani hiyo ingine itafollow. Alafu tukijua hiyo ingine, sasa when we know maybe this frame, alafu tutaangalia hii yenye tuko nayo saizi, tujue frame hiyo ingine yenye itafuata, like that when you are compressing and decompressing. It assumes a model and sets only the differences from the model, i.e. the error value. Another type of source coding, we have the sub-sampling. Sub-sampling, write that, sub-sampling. This technique groups pixels. This technique groups pixels together into a meta region. It groups pixels together into a meta region, encodes a single value, and codes a single value from the entire region. This technique groups pixels together into a meta region and codes a single value for the entire region. So remember, like if it's if it's like a graphic, okay, if you enlarge, if you can take a photo, then you store it in your machine, then you display or you open it to be displayed on the screen, then you enlarge that graphic or that picture. Utaona kama iko na two boxes, we call those pixels. So we say that you are going to put that or the frames or whatever you want to compress into these pixels. These are gonna form the frames, those pixels that forming that graphic. You put them into a meta region, alafu sasa ukizicombine ama you code them at once. This coding technique, sorry, then we have the subband. The subband, this is a source coding technique, but the source coding technique, this coding technique gives different resolutions. This coding technique gives different resolutions to different parts. This coding technique gives different resolutions to different parts. For example, since the human eye is more sensitive to intensity changes, since the human eye is more sensitive to intensity changes of light, since the human eye is more sensitive to intensity changes of light than color, then this technique gives Y components. It gives Y components of the YUV video more resolution than the U and the V component. Then the other one is transformation. This technique transforms one set of reference plane to another. This technique transforms one set of reference plane to another. This technique transforms one set of reference plane to another, e.g. vector quantization. We can rotate the axis at 45 degrees so that fewer bits, we can rotate the axis at 45 degrees so that fewer bits could be used, to represent values on different axes. Rotate the axis at 45 degrees so that fewer bits could be used to represent values on a different axis.
All the mystery boxes you see here cost over $500,000. That's a lot of cheddar. And
Then we have the hybrid coding technique. So we have the hybrid, we have the source coding, and we have the entropy coding. So this one, hybrid coding techniques, these are techniques that combine more than one techniques. These are techniques that combine more than one techniques so as to gain a greater advantage. These are techniques that combine more than one techniques so as to gain a greater advantage. From compression, without sacrificing much in quality. To gain a greater advantage from compression without sacrificing much in quality. And we saw that quality decreases because of loss of data when you are compressing. Like this one is a lossy compression, where we say that some data is going to get lost. So they combine, some different techniques are combined so that we are not going to compromise with quality. These techniques can be tailored to meet a particular requirement. It can be tailored to meet a particular requirement. These techniques outperform the traditional coding techniques. These techniques outperform the traditional coding techniques in terms of coding time, prediction errors, and quality. Coding techniques in terms of coding times, they take less time than the traditional ones. Prediction errors, the rate is small, and the quality is not compromised, or they are not. The quality of the picture is not going to be reduced. They have the potential for improving the efficiency and ease of transmission. They have the potential for improving the efficiency and ease of transmission. They have the potential for improving the efficiency and ease of transmission. And we are going to look at these types of hybrid coding. The first one we are going to look at is the MPEG. We have the MPEG, which is Moving Picture Expert Group. This technique was developed to cover motion video, as well as audio coding. This technique was developed to cover motion video as well as audio coding. Yes, this one is for moving pictures and audio. It is suitable for symmetric as well as asymmetric compression. It's for symmetric as well as asymmetric compression. Full stop. Continuation. This one is asymmetric. Hapa utaongeza a. Asymmetric compression requires more effort requires more effort. Asymmetric compression requires more effort for coding than decoding. Asymmetric compression requires more effort for coding than decoding.
This is the most expensive mystery box in the world. And I also bought a $5,000 mystery box. This $10,000 mystery box, a $25,000 mystery box, and a $100,000 mystery box. And all the mystery boxes you see here cost over $500,000.
Let us continue. So asymmetric compression requires more effort for decoding than coding than decoding. Symmetric compression is known. Symmetric compression is known to expect equal effort for coding, that is compression, and decompression processes. Symmetric compression is known to expect equal effort for coding or compression and decompression processes. Another thing, in interactive dialogue application, makes use of this coding technique. Application makes use of this coding technique where a restricted edge-to-edge delay is required. Interactive dialogue application makes use of this coding technique where a restricted edge-to-edge delay is required. Full stop. Use of this coding technique where restricted edge-to-edge delay is required. Full stop. A temporal prediction of still images. A temporal prediction of still images leads to a considerable compression ratio. Still images leads to a considerable compression ratio. Full stop. Continuation. Moving images often contain non-translational moving patterns. Moving images often contain non-translational moving patterns such as rotation or waves at the seaside. Moving images often contain non-translational moving patterns such as rotation or waves at the seaside. Another point, MPEG distinguishes 4 types of image coding for processing. MPEG distinguishes 4 types of image coding for processing. Full stop. Full stop. The reason behind this are the contradictory. The reasons behind this are the contradictory demand for an efficient coding skill, and fast random access. access, full stop. Fast random access, full stop. To achieve a high compression ratio, temporal redundancy, temporal redundancy of subsequent pictures. To achieve a high compression ratio, temporal redundancy of subsequent pictures must be exploited. High compression ratio, temporal redundancy of subsequent pictures must be exploited. So we are going to look at these types of image coding under MPEG. We have 4 types of image coding for processing. The following types of images are distinguished. The following types of images are distinguished. The following types of images are distinguished. So we have iframe. The first one is iframe, into brackets, intra-coded frames. Intra-coded frames. So when we have such these intra-coded frames, is that we say that the term that is used is that they are self-contained, so they don't depend on another frame, whether the previous frame or the next frame. So then they don't consider that the frame is compressed. They don't depend on the previous frame and the next frame for decompression and for compression and decompression. Right, this. These are frames that are self-contained. These are frames that are self-contained, i.e., they are coded without any other reference to other images. So they are not going to refer from the previous frame or the next frame. They are coded without any other reference to other images, So if they are going to refer, they are going just to refer to those frames that are supposed to be coded, not from the previous or from the next frame. An iframe is treated as a still image or the intra-coded frame. An iframe is treated as a still image. Full stop. MPEG makes use of JPEG. JPEG ndio ina compress the still images. MPEG ina compress moving images. MPEG, so an iframe is treated as a still image. Na unajua MPEG ina compress the moving images. So MPEG makes use of JPEG for iframes. Full stop. Compression is often done in real time. Compression is often done in real time. The compression rate of the iframe is the lowest within MPEG. The compression rate, the speed of compression, the rate of the iframe is the lowest within MPEG. Full stop. That's the iframe or this type of image. The other one is P-frame. Or the P frames. These are the this one is the predictive coded frame or frames. Predictive coded frames. Hii itaangalia the previous frame and the next frame. It is going to be from the previous frame and the next frame so that it can compress those frames or the image. Right, these frames require information from the previous iframe this frame require information of the for the frame to be coded or this image to be coded. It require the frames that for that image. So this one the predictive, it require the information of the previous iframe. This frame require information of the previous iframe and all P frames for coding and decoding. So it require information ya previous frame, na hiyo previous frame ni intra-coded frame, halafu ina require all zote za predictive frame for coding and decoding. The coding of the P frames is based on the fact that the coding of the P frames is based on the fact that by successive images, their areas often do not change. Their areas often do not change at all, but instead the whole area is shifted. Another point are the predictive coded frames. The most processing intensive methods tend to give better results. And so a trade-off must be between the computational power cost. The most processing intensive methods tend to give better results, and so a trade-off must be made between the computational power cost versus the video quality. Between the computational power cost versus the video quality. So a trade-off must be made between the computational power cost versus the video cost. So if they are going to compromise the quality or the cost. Full stop. MPEG does not provide a certain algorithm. MPEG does not provide a certain algorithm for motion estimation, but instead specifies the coding of the results. Then the other type of image, is the B frames or the bidirectionally predictive coded frames. Bidirectionally predictive coded frames. So this one, the B frames, this one is going to require the information of the previous frames, then the I-frames, and all zote za predictive frames. So the I-frame na zote za predictive frames or the predictive frames, all of them, so that to code and decode. Let us write this. These frames require information of the previous. It requires the information of the previous and the following I-frames. These frames require information of the previous and the following I-frames and stroke or AWL, or we have or, then we have AWL, or the P frame or the predictive. The P frames for both coding and decoding. For both coding and decoding. Full stop. For both coding and decoding, full stop. Highest compression ratio is attained. Highest compression ratio is attained by using B frames. Highest compression ratio is attained by using the B frames or the bidirectional predictive coded frames. Full stop. A B frame is defined as the difference of a prediction. A B frame is defined as the difference of a prediction of the past image and the following B frames or I frames. A B frame is defined as the difference of a prediction of the past image, the previous image, the past image, and the following B frame or I frames. Full stop. Continuation. The B frames can never be accessed in a random manner. The B frames can never be accessed in a random manner. A B frames can never be accessed in a random manner. So it is accessed in sequentially or in order. So if you start with, we have the B frame or the I frame, then maybe we have the I frame, we have the B frame and the P frame. So you have to start with the I, that order, I, then B frame and the predictive frame. Ama tuko na predictive I, then B, the same order. You cannot access the B frame before you access the I frame. Then we have the D frames. The other type of image is the D frame or the DC coded frames. DC coded frames. These are inter-frame coded. These are intra-frame coded. These are intra-frame coded, full stop. They can be used for fast, FAS. They can be used for fast, FAS, forward, and fast, 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 rewind modes. Let me repeat, they can be used for fast, FAST, forward, and FAST, rewind modes. Difference consists only of the lowest frequencies of an image. Difference consists only of the lowest frequencies of an image. Difference consists only of the lowest frequencies of an image. The difference are coded and their parameters defined while the AC coefficient are neglected. The difference are coded and their parameters defined while the AC coefficients are neglected. The other hybrid technique is the H261. H261 H261. So we have this, the driving force behind this video coding standard. The driving force behind this video coding standard is ISDN. ISDN, or the Integrated Service Digital Network. Full stop. The two B channels of an ISDN connection, the two B channels. Iko na two channels. This one tulipata kwa computer network. Iko na two channels. Moja ni ya for the video, alafu ama inaweza kuwa ina carry video and data, or maybe inaweza kuwa video and audio. So iko na channels mbili, moja inabeba hii data, it could be either video, na ingine inabeba audio. The 2B channel of ISDN connection can be used to transfer video in addition to audio data. So channel moja itabeba video, alafu ingine itabeba audio data. This implies the 2B channels of an ISDN connection can be used to transfer video in addition to audio data. Full stop. This implies that both users connected via the B channel. This implies that both users connected via the B channel have to use the same codec for video signals. Have to use the same codec for video signals, or the coder and decoder. Codec is, this one is for coding and decoding. Coder and decoder. The same codec for video signals. Continuation. Codec means coder and decoder. In brackets, Codec means a coder and decoder, close the bracket, that is, or IE in brackets, compression and decompression. Compression and decompression. Unlike JPEG, this technique defines, unlike JPEG, this technique defines a very precise image format. Unlike JPEG, this technique defines a very precise image format. Precise image format. Full stop. During coding, it is possible to generate. During coding, it's possible to generate. It is possible to generate a compressed image. During coding, it is possible to generate a compressed image sequence. To generate a compressed image sequence with a lower frame rate, During coding, it's possible to generate a compressed image sequence with a lower frame rate, e.g. 10 to 15 still images per second. With the lower frame rate, e.g. 10 to 15 still images per second, full stop. Only the non-interleaved images, are allowed at the input of the decoder. The image is coded as a luminance signal, into brackets Y, and the chrominous different signals. Continuation. H261 uses two different methods of coding. i.e. intra and intra-frame, like the one you see that is a self-contained. Intra-frame, it does not depend on any either previous or the following frames, i.e. intra-frame and inter, I-N-T-E-R, inter-frame, intra and inter-frame, full stop. In case of intra-frame coding, no advantage is taken from the redundancy between frames. Redundancy is the change that occurs when these frames are being compressed and decompressed. No advantage is taken from the redundancy between frames, full stop. This coding technique corresponds to the iframe coding. This coding technique corresponds to the iframe coding iframe coding of MPEG full stop. This coding technique corresponds to the iframe coding of MPEG full stop. For interframe coding, comma, for interframe coding, comma, for interframe coding, comma, information from the previous or subsequent frames is used. Unaona intra hiyo haidepend on any frame, lakini inter ina depend the previous frame, kani B frame na the following frame. It could be the predictive or the P frame. So it depend, inataka information ya the B frame na the P frame, so that it can code and decode data. Information from the previous of the subsequent frames is used. H261 standard does not provide any criteria for the mode of choice. Does not provide any criteria for the mode of choice. Any criteria for the mode of choice, full stop. The decision must be made during the coding process. The decision must be made during the coding process, depending on the specific implementation. The decision must be made during the coding process, depending on the specific implementation. The other one is JPEG, and for this one, I will give you a handout on that, on JPEG. Not that hard to understand or difficult to understand. Then that one I will give you. And whatever on the entropy coding, that one will maybe we'll do it in class. So if you can allow me, you give me like 10 minutes, because you remember you are even late, but I was the one who was late because I was nilikuwa class ingine. So before ni wamalizie what was remaining, alafu nikuja I joined your group, I took some time. So kama niweza like 5 minutes, we can finish what we are supposed to cover, so that the remaining I think we need only like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, so that the remaining weeks or hours that we have, we use those hours to do our cuts. If we have any, and we are going to do some practical, we will see what we can do in practicals. So if we can, you can give me that 5 minutes, we can finish theory part, so that we are left with maybe the practical, maybe 1 or 2. It we'll be able to achieve that, and the cuts, time for the cut. So if you allow me to do that, we can finish on virtual reality. It's only this. From there, from hapo unaona that title or that topic, alafu mpaka hapo. So we are going to the definition of the virtual reality and the types of virtual environment, and we call it a day. Give me like 5 minutes. Write this virtual reality. So ada JPEG hiyo nitawapea handout, si kubwa. Hiyo ingine maybe tukipata hivi naweza fanya kwa class. Alafu sasa hiyo time nyingine tutajua what to do. We can have a practical session and na tufanye our cuts. Write this virtual reality is an artificial environment. That is created is an artificial environment that is created with software and presented to the user, is created with software and presented to the user in such a way that the user suspects, believe, and accepts it as a real environment. So what we mean by virtual reality, we are saying that, like the way we have a virtual class. Hii ni virtual na venye tu tuna, isipokuwa ni venye I don't have that facility, venye tunafanyanga tu class, tukiandika, hata naandika kwa board, unaona nikiandika like that. So whatever we can achieve in this virtual class, whatever we can do in the physical class, we can still do in the virtual class. And hata tukikuja kwa hii virtual reality or this environment, kuna physical environment ina simulate the physical environment, ina form a new environment, what we are calling the virtual reality. And whatever we can achieve, hata virtual reality, virtual environment, hata unaweza, you can achieve a lot. And why am I saying like that? Because like these days, they can achieve a lot using this virtual environment or this virtual technology, if I may use that, because they can be able to, using the technology, they can be able to reach or to get them inside the patient or the person. They can be able to reach to places that they cannot do without the technology. Kama wanafunza student, those who are in the medical field, kama wanafanya operation to a person, ile wana operate a patient, wanaweza achieve a lot, ama student can learn a lot wakitumia now the technology, this virtual thing, kuliko ile ya physical. Juu kuna vitu zingine hawezi wakaona maybe with their naked eyes, lakini wakitumia technology they can be able to do that. Juu hata unavaa those gadgets that you wear when you want to switch to this virtual environment. Na ukiwa na hiyo unaweza fanya a lot, unlike when you are in the physical world. An example is that 3D image is a 3D image that can be explored interactively at a personal computer, usually by manipulating rays or the mouse so that content of the image moves in some direction or 200 meters per second in or out. Let us look at the types of environment in virtual reality. So we have these types of environment. Environment we are calling the virtual reality or the virtual environment. So one is the mixed virtual reality. Hii mixed ni ile nika uko half, uko physical na uko virtual. That's what we are calling the mixed virtual reality. This is the merging of real world and virtual worlds to produce a new environment. So you merge the real world, now the physical world, kabinye tunakuwa na class, alafu na hii ya virtual binye now we have met, so that we can have a new environment. Real world and the virtual world to produce a new environment where physical and digital objects can coexist and interact. Where physical and digital objects can coexist and interact. The other one is text-based virtual reality. Text-based virtual reality ni kadhi we can even hata tukiwa hapa we can chat. Hiyo environment yenyewe you can text. Una text our class representative and respond like that. That's another environment. What we are calling the text-based virtual environment. Are a form of virtual habitats, are a form of virtual habitats or virtual environment, virtual habitats or virtual environment, e.g. place where people be and do things online. E.g. place where people be and do things online. The other one is shared space. We have another environment, we call it the shared space. This is an example, is like the way we are in our group, tunaweza kuwa na space on the internet where we post or we put information relating to what we do, relating to multimedia. So nikipata anything about multimedia naweka, James akipata anaweka, another student anaweka, then anaweza kuja ni access nione ni nini tumeweka, mwingine anaweza kuja na access like that. So that's a shared space. Aims at creating distributed electronic environment. Aims at creating distributed electronic environment where participants can exploit spatial properties, such as containment and movement in order to manage their communications. The last one is desktop virtual reality. Hii ni kama venye you can have a computer program in your desktop. Ama hata kama ni in your desktop, because you have used the desktop. The desktop machine, those machines that we find in the lab. Hiyo program itakusaidia you achieve what you want. So and you can create it. You can create that environment and you interact with that environment using your desktop machine. Refer to a computer program that simulate a real or imaginary world. Refers to a computer program that simulate a real or imaginary world in 3D format that is displayed on screen. Refers to computer program that simulate a real or imaginary world in 3D or 3-dimension format that is displayed on screen. And that's all. So what is meaning here, the one that you are not able to finish, and the JPEG notes, alafu cut na pengine a practical session or sessions. Unless there is any question, we are going to stop at that point.
Hello.
I
do have a question. On the types of virtual reality. Okay. I did my research sometimes and nilikuwa napata ni is educational environment. Sasa educational environment sa ndani yake Sunday virtual classrooms, training simulations. Then another type social environment, so type of social PR ama virtual conferences and meetings. So can you understand me when now you set maybe your exam gani sasa wachukua like sasa hizi
I test you ni test you on this environment. Alafu sasa unaniuliza kama unaweza andika hizi ama hata hizo zingine. Sasa venye mi or the way we are directed even by the university, unaona that's why tunapeana consultant na references books. So that sasa zenye tumetoa kwa hizo reference books or those books that we have gotten this information, we stick to that. Because zingine, but I'm not saying that whatever you are saying, naweza kuwa na material yangu nimeweka kwa internet ama Eli ameweka kwa internet, but pengine haijapitishwa. The way we even, like now, we do write journals ama paper. Hiyo paper ni lazima tuipeleke kwa certain watu wenye wanaiangalia that journal, wanaweza kuikubali ama waikatae. So some information, but by the way we find even in the internet, hazijakubalika, maybe we use them for teaching. Juu zingine ni mtu maybe amekuja tu na hii type of virtual reality, ameweka kwa blog. Alafu sasa if you use a good book, it's only that in the library you don't find those books, but maybe online library, maybe you can find them. Kuna vinye unaweza pata good information in a certain book, lakini whatever you got in the Google, unaona haija is not acceptable. Because ni mtu kama mimi tu alikuja nikaanza kuandika, maybe I'm writing a paper. Alafu hiyo paper haijareviewiwa. Those people they review what we have written. Sasa wanaweza review waone hiyo kitu si mzuri. The way they even do the books that we buy from the it is the high school, colleges or even the primary school. Sasa maybe zingine hazijareviewiwa, so it's not acceptable. So sometimes mimi nasemanga, and that's why always I tell you, kwanza uandike zangu before uandike hizo zingine. Lakini ukikuwa umesahau kabisa, you can write them. Hakuna shida. But first huwa una confirm the source. Most of the time ukifanya kitu, especially kitu kama unaenda kupresent, like now you are doing your proposal or you are going to implement, make sure you refer or you reference to from someone ama source yenye inajulikana. Do unaweza toa that information from the blog, na mtu blog mwenye ameandika maybe it's not the right source, but I'm not saying that they are not, but lazima hata especially now we are in the academic field, lazima tuwe na source yenye inakubalika worldwide. Ni sawa?
Asante.
Tuko sawa. Sasa thank you. Have a good day.